And I should have my hair and everything else done. Of course, my hair is a misnomer because I don't really have any hair. In fact, I finished shaving my head this morning. Ah, boy. It is a beautiful day here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It really is. Last night, at some point during yesterday, the heat wave we've been experiencing for the last few days broke. And last night was actually quite nice. I was out Thursday night with friends. And as one of my teammates put it, you could taste the air. Last night was nice. This morning is nice. I don't know. I'm checking the weather right now, which I shouldn't do, but I'm going to do it anyway. And it's 57 degrees outside. It's going to get up to 80. Tomorrow it's going to get up to 83. And then starting Monday, it's just going to be a week of hell. Seriously, it is going to be a week of hell with Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and next Friday the 13th through Monday the 16th, all in the 90s. Yeah, Friday the 13th. Yeah, you would have to get up there. Bastard. So, what's been happening? Well, the last couple of days has been birthday celebrations. One of our NSOs, Dano, he's like our head NSO dude. He turned 38. So Saturday, he and me and two other people from our team got together and we celebrated. Low-key celebration. That was his actual birthday, by the way. And then last night, a few of the teammates, NSOs, ref, got together and we had cake at Midwest Distillery, where it's funny because when I went up to say I want to start a tab and a woman's like, I should know who you are. I was like, yeah, we've been in here enough. Plus, I'm easy to spot. It was actually kind of funny. I was with Dano and my teammates, Nelson Slamdella. And we were at the tasting bar, and the woman who was serving us looks at me and she goes, "You're in Derby, aren't you? I remember you from, I came out one night. I'm one of Rachel's friends, and I came out one night." And I was like, these guys are in Derby too. I think that's the second time I've been noticed whenever I've been out in public. The first time was, probably around about a year ago around this time when I was walking through Strawberry Square on my way to work when I had a job. And somebody actually stopped me and said, "I saw your picture on the webpage." I was like, whoa. Wow, okay, great. I felt pretty good about that. It might have been in August. I don't remember, but it's been about a year. So better than as you know, because I made a big deal of it in the blog on the 4th of July. I skated in Paxtangs. We had different Paxes around here. I skated in Paxtangs 4th of July parade. And we skated about a mile. And part of that was we had to come down a hill. And I prided myself in the fact that I did not wipe out. I really didn't. I had to, I was slaloming back and forth. And the minute I'd start to pick up speed, I'd either spin around to arrest my speed or I'd get the toe stop down. Handed out a lot of flyers. But it was a lot of fun skating on the streets. And I was on skates. There were 4 of us who were on skates. It was a lot of fun. And it was hotter than shit that day. And I've noticed something, and I'm going to have to work on this because I noticed I tend to get overheated when I'm not hydrating properly. I wasn't that greatly hydrated, and I noticed that when we were done with the parade, most of my teammates were complaining about how sweaty they were, and I was like, I'm not that sweaty, but my head felt like it was ready to explode. I was starting to get heat exhaustion. So, yeah, I was beginning to feel that heat rising in my head, and I actually had that happen at practice last Monday night. And it's from not hydrating properly. I figured it out because the minute I got back to where we were assembling and I hydrated, the sweat just started pouring off of me. So there you go. Need hydration. But anyway, when I was putting my skates on, some guy who is marching to parade walks by and he goes, "Oh, I see you brought mom with you." It's like, mom? There were actual women standing there who have delivered children, who were skating, but I got called mom, because my age. Could tell I was older than everybody else. I was like, "You kids, you." I even told the guy, I stood up. I took it all in good fun. I said, "Well, I haven't talked to my son in a while, but as far as I know, I could actually be a grandma." And I could. Geez. This week, it had it's like Otis Elevator. It had its ups and downs. It's an old Cheech and Chong joke. They had a song by Otis Elevator called "Baby, I've Got My Ups and Downs." And Monday, my divorce was finalized, so I'm single again. I'm probably going to remain single. When? Probably until I die. I haven't really been with anyone since leaving my family to support them, after which I got kicked to the curb. And I don't anticipate that changing anytime soon. So the chances are pretty good I'm never getting married again. Both my marriages have been failures. So what can I say? There's there's 40 years flushed right down the toilet. Yeah. And there's still shit we're having to take care of, like getting titles transferred and stuff like that. And it's just, so. Plus, I lost about $40,000 in this settlement. Yeah, I did not get any money at all from the sale of our house. I lost half my pension, which at this point is about $95,000, and I lost half of that. The only consolation is the ex has to pay taxes on the lump sum when she gets it, but still, she'll end up keeping probably about $25,000 of it. So I just can't win. I just cannot freaking win. Seriously, oh my god, I could not freaking win. So what can I say? Let's see. So Tuesday I was in a real bad place. I was. I actually left both my derby groups on Facebook because after Monday night, I was just like, this is ridiculous. I don't think I'm ever going to get anywhere in this. So I left, and I was a crying mess all day because of that. You know, that kind of shows you it hurt me more to leave Derby than it did to get divorced. It hurt more. And I'm still not certain what's going to happen with me. I don't think I'm going to make the roster for July. I still cannot do a 27.5 to save my life. If you stuck a gun to my head, I would doubt very much if I could do one right now. I mean, seriously. And trust me, I'm the sort of person who would have stuck a gun to her head by now if I had one. No, that's not going to happen. Don't worry. I'm just using a metaphor here. But yeah, boy, I really want to play. But at the same time, I really wonder if I ever will. So I'm kind of caught in that in-between world. But yeah, so Tuesday I was a mess. I was having ideation and everything else. As I told one of my teammates, the thing that snapped me out of it, the goofiest damn things that snap you out of wanting to keep going, was I've been watching all of Babylon 5, the Babylon 5 TV series on Amazon. And Tuesday night I finished up season 4. And I said to myself, well, if you kill yourself now, Cassie, you're not going to get to watch Sleeping in Light, which is the final episode of season 5, and it's your favorite episode. I mean, it's goofy shit like that sometimes snaps you out of it. So yeah, to pray, I told our president of the executive board, I was like, could somebody re-add me to the groups? Because I was having a bad day yesterday, and I sort of quit. I can laugh about it now, but it hurt. It hurt. It still does. I just wish we didn't have to do that. I really don't. And the bitch of it is, I asked permission for it. I had mentioned this in my posting on the 4th, that I'm actually going to be in a skating clinic on Friday the 13th in Maryland with a world champion skater, Lacey Knight. I've attended one of her clinics before, but never as a skater. This is actually going to be the second clinic I've attended on skates. I got permission to attend one that we're actually holding in August at our rink with a skater by the name of Smarty Pants. Yeah, she's really good too. She's another good one. Yeah, I've been at Lacey's clinic before, so I kind of know what to expect. She said she's going to work mostly on what jammers need to do to get through the pack and what you need to do to get your jammer through the pack. The later part I'm really interested in, but since if I ever get to play, I'd love to, train to be a pivot. I need to learn some of that jammer stuff too, which means I need to be faster and more agile on my feet. Sort of like an agile bull, really. So yeah, I asked for permission, and they said, yeah, go ahead. And 2 of my coaches said, yeah, you can skate. It's like, oh my God, I can go to these clinics and skate with the big girls, but I can't play. It's not their fault. It's all me. Although I could blame Woofed for changing their requirements, because it used to be, they needed 25 laps in 5 minutes, and I've done that several times. I've done 25 laps in 5 minutes several times. 27. I have not yet broken the 26 lap barrier, so I don't know. I'm looking forward to doing the clinic next Friday, simply because it's going to be an opportunity for me to push myself and hopefully not black out on the track. Yeah, there's a part I will be. I mean, I will be hydrating my butt off. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be hot. I mean, I already saw, I told you the temperature, it's going to be like 90 degrees during the day, which means it'll probably be hot where we'll be where we'll be working. So I will hydrate my butt off that whole Friday the 13th. I mean, I will. Yeah, I do not want to like stroke out or have heat exhaustion in front of Lacey. I like her. I like her a lot. She's a fun person. They're all fun. I've met her. I met Satan, who is her teammate. I've met Tarantula, who used to skate in Philadelphia. I met Lorraine Evans, who's also a world champion. You know, they're all great people. Anytime you run into these women and they're you know, they want to extend what they know to you, it's always a great thing. You know? And that's the one thing that's really kind of cool about Derby is that these people will do that. You know, they will. They'll just like, I'm going to show you what I know. This is how I became a world champion. You know, this is the sort of stuff I do. And then you find out, you know, some of them just work their asses off to get, most of them do. And not some, nearly all of them work their asses off to get to where they're at. So I do my best, but I could do more. And it's going to be fun. I'm actually, my goal, this is a goal. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen, but one of the things that Lacey did at her last clinic was she was saying that when she trains, she always tells her teammates to hit her as hard as possible, because she said she remembers like one major bout she was in. They had scrimmaged for, you know, did scrimmage training and everything for weeks. And then they got into the bout. And she said right off the bat, she took this enormous hit from someone and it really just freaked the hell out of her. And she said it was because she'd never been hit that hard during practice. So when she got hit that hard during the bout, it kind of freaked her out. So she was like, you know, when you're going, you should actually try to hit your teammates as hard as possible. And one of the things she was showing was that as a jammer, when you approach the wall, you should actually speed up. She says one of the things she always sees is she'll see jammers go around the track as fast as they can. Then for like the last 20 or 30 feet, they'll slow up and then go into the wall. And she says she does exactly the opposite. She will go around the track at a, not the fastest she can go, but a moderate speed. Say like 25.5. You know, she's doing a lap in about 12 and a half seconds. And then she says when she gets to like the last 30 feet, she turns it on and just slams into people. Yeah. And I get into the science of that in a second. But what she was doing, she had a woman standing out on the track and she would just like sprint, boom, smack into her. You know, she would actually turn around and smack into her with her butt and then turn and sprint around her. And everybody was so amused by this. Really, we were. It was so amusing to watch. And I think I've got the video on my computer, but it was so amusing to watch that she ended up doing it like 5 different times. They were like, can we see that again? Can we see that again? So my goal is to like, hey, Lacey, I want to see if I can take a hit from you. I really do. I really do want to see if I can take a hit from her and just tell her, look, if you knock me on my ass, you knock me on my ass. Please. I want to see if I can take a hit from you. Because if I can, it doesn't matter how much I think I suck. Because I can turn around and go, yeah, but I took a hit from a world champion. She gave me her best shot, and I took it. And the science behind that is, you know I was going to have to get into this. This is a little bit of physics. Kinetic energy. When you're actually hitting somebody, you're imparting kinetic energy. You're imparting the linear motion of whatever, your body, your fist, your foot, and you're converting that into energy. And as you know, energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted. So a skater, when they hit another person, they're converting their linear energy into kinetic energy, which is what actually makes the hit. So kinetic energy, the determination for kinetic energy is the formula 1/2 mass times velocity squared. Now, mass isn't the real variable here. I mean, I weigh 236 now. So as I weigh 236, if I hit 4 or 5 people, that part of the equation, 1/2 mass, is not going to change any. I may be able to up it a little bit due to gear, skates. At the most, I'm adding like a pound. So let's just say, 236 or whatever it is in grams or kilograms or what have you. Anyway, that part of the equation does not change. That's not the unknown variable. That's actually a known variable. The unknown variable is going to be your speed. The faster you can go, the more kinetic energy you can impart. And the kinetic energy you impart to an object actually increases dramatically based on how much faster you're going, because it's determined you actually are taking the square of your velocity. So if you hit someone at, say, 12 kilometers an hour, you're not going to do as much damage or impart as much kinetic energy as you would if you hit a person you're going 16 kilometers an hour. So there's the difference, because this 12 squared is less than 16 squared, considerably less. So yeah, that's where Lacey's coming from. It's like the faster you go into the wall, the more kinetic energy you're going to impart upon that wall, and the greater likelihood you're going to break the wall. There's also the greater likelihood that you're going to fuck up and back block the shit out of a blocker. And if it's hard enough, you may get ejected from the bout, but that's another story. Lacey knows how not to do that. That's why she's a world champion, But that's really how you do it. If I slide into somebody going 10 kilometers an hour, it's 236 is like, geez, it's probably about 110 kilos. I'm about 105, 110 kilos. So 110 kilos going into a wall at 10 kilometers an hour is not going to impart as much kinetic energy as 110 kilos going into a wall at 15 or 16 kilometers an hour. I'm going to do a lot more damage. So that's it. You really have to smack it to them. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to skating with Smarty Pants. Yeah, skate, baby. If I can up my game, that's it. I'm trying to up my game. I'm trying to prove to myself that I can actually do this stuff. Of course, I could be a complete abject failure next Friday and spend, 2 hours driving home beating myself up. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go in, like I said, I'm going to hydrate my butt off. If I have to put an IV in my arm to keep the hydration coming, but I'll remember that. It's just hydrate constantly through the day. And then when I go down there, I'm taking all 3 of my canteens with me so that I'll have 60 ounces of water. And then, go at it. Here we go. Lacey will probably give us some breaks too, because it's likely to be hot. Very hot. Oh, hey, I expect to sweat. I expect to be a sweaty mess when I get out of there, but I expect to be a really happy, sweaty mess when I get out of there. So here we go. The things I do to myself. Speaking of things I do to myself, I finished the most current scene in my novel. It's the 5th scene, actually. I'm bringing up the novel right now. It's coming. And Carrie has finally seen the lake house. Not just the outside of it, but mind you, the inside as well. Annie walked them out. They took a walk in the snow. There's a lot of snow in Pampero this time of year. At least there was in 2013. And they've gotten to see what the inside looked like. I mean, Annie already knew what the inside looked like because, well, it's her house. So, yeah, I did almost 2,200 words. It's the 3rd scene out of 5 where I've had over 2,000 words. And at the moment, I'm sitting on almost 9,200 words, which is pretty good. The next scene is, I'm actually going to move it forward to the morning of December 24th. And that is going to be Annie and Pavlena talking about Carrie a little bit. And then we'll have a scene where Carrie actually is going to call his grandparents. And then that scene that follows, the scene that follows, is Carrie getting to go flying with Victor. Yep, he goes flying with Victor. It's called Flying with Father. That happens on Christmas morning. Oh, yeah, that's going to be fun. Then there's Christmas, which is noontime. There will be some presents opened. And I'm actually thinking of adding another scene after this, which shows Carrie going to Christmas dinner with the Karlovis. It's actually, the scenes are just kind of trucking right along. I didn't write much this week. I actually took like 3 days off. Part of it was, like I said, Tuesday I wasn't in a good mood. 4th of July, I just sort of like kicked back and relaxed, and I didn't want to do a lot. And then Thursday, I did a little bit of running around. So Friday, I actually finished off the scene, the last current scene. I wrote a little over 600 words yesterday to finish it off. And I'll probably get back into the Morning Eve. That scene, I don't imagine, is going to be very long. I imagine I can probably finish that thing off in about 1,000 words. And I also promised that there would be a second excerpt later today. So sometime this afternoon, I'll put out a second blog post. It'll be an excerpt of Carrie waking up and speaking with Pavlena, and you're going to find out some stuff about them. And before you know it, hell, the kids will be heading back to school. And then I'll start working on Annie going out with her guardian team, followed by Carrie going out with Emma on the Polar Express. Those wacky kids, those wacky gingers going out there, braving the wilds of wintertime Canada. It's actually been a little easier. When I can sit down and start writing, I find I can get into it a bit more. It hasn't felt like it was in the past where I was literally having to yank teeth to get something done. It's more like I need to sit down and actually do it. And like I said, my mental situation the last few days was kind of iffy. So I didn't try to force myself to write. But yesterday it went real well. Wrote in the afternoon, and before I knew it, I finished it off, and I looked at it, and I was like, wow, it's over 600 words. It's pretty good. Probably took me maybe an hour to write that. And a lot of that was spent messing around with the layout I have of Annie's lake house. So I may do a video to show you what her lake house looks like. You've probably forgotten by now. Anyway. I really don't have much else to say. Like I said, the week has been strange. It's really been kind of a strange week because whenever you have a holiday in the middle of the week, it messes things up badly. So a lot of people felt like Thursday was another Monday, just another manic Thursday. But I should point out, today is an important day in Cassidy history. Yes, it is actually. 7/7. It's easy to remember. July 7, 2014. I can remember that because 7 plus 7 equals 14. That was the year. That was the day I had my first shot. That was the day I actually started HRT. That was when I had my first estradiol shot. And that day, my doctor gave it to me. I had to come in. It was 2 weeks after my initial consultation. I had to come back, and she stepped me through the process of what I had to do to take a shot, and she gave me the injection in my thigh. Then I had to come back 2 weeks later on the 21st and do the shot for her in her office, and I had to show her how to do the shot. So I had to bring all my stuff with me, and I laid it all out and gave myself my injection. And I remember she told me that she figured of all of her new patients, she figured there was about 5 that she wasn't going to have any issues with injecting themselves, and I was one of them. And I did. I proved it to her. I gave myself an injection. And then 2 weeks after that, I had to go back to see her again. Trust me, this was before I was even out at work, and I was like, I got to go in and see the doctor. I wouldn't even tell him when I was going to see the doctor. And then I'd drive out to Jersey. So there was this period there for like a month and a half where I was driving out to New Jersey every 2 weeks to go see my doctor. But I had to do the injection at home. And I did. And then, told her, yeah, I did it. Didn't have any problems. And I haven't been having any problems since then. I think I've had like a couple of instances where I've had real bleeders. That happens. Probably the worst thing I ever did was I have to use 2 needles to fill the syringe. You use 1 needle to fill the syringe, 1 needle to do the injection. It's because the bigger needle allows you to draw the estrogen into the syringe easier. And then you use the smaller needle because it goes into the skin easier, and you use that to do the injection. One time I forgot to change the needle. And I'm trying to jam the needle. I mean, I'm pushing down. And it's like, why is my skin not breaking? And then I realized, oh shit, I'm using the big needle. And I didn't want to stop at that point because, I've already disinfected my leg and everything else. And I was like, if I stop and change needles now, I run the risk of contaminating something. And I'd have to throw the syringe out. And I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I just pushed it into my leg. Oh, that hurt. Yeah, I just pushed it in my leg and shot it in. It was probably the easiest I've ever had when I was pushing the plunger down, though. That's one thing. You always show you, like, when you're watching them do it on TV or in the movies, you just see them, like, jab themselves in the thigh, and then they just, they go like that with the syringe. We call that a Hollywood injection, When in reality, once you get that needle in, you got to kind of force that syringe down. You do. You have to push that sucker hard to get that stuff into your muscle. So, yes, today marks 4 days. And I think in the second, well, I've actually got a picture out there. I think when I put this together, I'll show you a before and after picture, because I'm sure I've got a picture of myself after I got back from the doctors that day. In fact, I know I do. So I'll put like a little side by side of what I look like on 7/7/14 as opposed to what I look like today. Well, you know what I look like today because you're looking at me. But yeah, it's 4 years now. I've been on HRT. 4 years I've been on hormones. I started when I was 57. I do everything fucking late. I do everything late, which means, the joke, pay no attention to me. I'm charging up my phone. Of course, the joke is going to be I'll be late to my own funeral, which probably won't be a bad idea for me. Yeah. So that's it. I've been talking for a little over 36 minutes now. So I think I've gotten my point across. So everyone take care. Have a good weekend. I'll be right back here next week. And if I haven't died at the Lazy Night Clinic, you will get the lowdown on what happened. I do have to say, this coming week is going to be a hard derby week because I've got 3 consecutive practices here at home. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night I have practice. Yeah. And then Friday I go down and do Lacey's Clinic. If I really wanted to abuse myself, I could go to York on Thursday night and just make it all derby all week long, I don't think I want to do that. But yeah, I'll have derby 4 out of 5 nights. Yeah, Cassie, just abuse yourself. Go ahead. Well, who else is going to abuse you? You're no longer married. Okay, take care, everybody. Bye.